And we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the War Commander Unshackled hangout bullshit show. I have no idea what the fuck we're going to do. We're just going to roll with it and just have a little fun while we do it. Introducing the panel, thank you, Venom. This evening we have Anton, we have Double Phoenix, we have Dutch, we have Godscope, we have Champ, we have Lady Warrior, we have the legendary Data King. We have Mr. Lionel Richie himself, Mr. Venom, Wolfie, and myself, the indomitable, the immortal asshole, Dr. Phil. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bullshit. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no structure. I have no idea what to talk about.
This is a show for the people.
For the people, by the people, precisely.
Hey, one thing I want to talk about just real quick before I go get some more fucking beer here. Just want to talk about platforms.
Platforms.
All right. Thanks to the fucking immortal fucking Dr. Phil and Data King, they're talking me into changing my fucking platforms to.
Now, this has nothing to do with me. Data's convinced me to change my platforms too.
Yeah. Reinforced platforms, the fucking ones against Splash, man. That's all my input for tonight. I'm changing on my platform. Good night, guys.
So, Data, it's because of reinforced platforms. Explain to the people.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
we're finding that a lot of people are using a lot of heavy splash units. You know, using units that have really huge splash radius. And if you look at the turrets and their hit points that are available. I mean, for example, a level 10 airborne platform only has 675 hit points. Granted, it can only be attacked by something that can hit air and splash from a herald, among other splash units. It has a very low hit point pool. Now, the reinforced platforms at level 10 almost double their hit points at 1,125,000. Not only that, but it says the advanced conduction technology suppresses explosive blast, blocking splash damage. So, I mean, if you look at the other platforms as well, like the armored platform, granted it has a little bit more hit points, but it doesn't block splash damage. The insulated platforms are back to the same hit points that the floaters are in, tightly sealed and remarkably durable surface materials. The insulated defense platform is entirely immune to corrosion and shock. That's great. I mean, you know, some people attack with its electric, some people don't, you know, not very many people put stuff with corrosion on anymore. So it's very niche. And then if you go back to just the regular old school platforms, they're 900,000, and they don't really do much of anything. They just have armor. I think the best all-around choice as far as hit points and then advantageous perks to it are the reinforced platforms. I've been trying to test them, but I'm still upgrading mine or rechanging them and upgrading them so they're viable right now. So we'll have to get back to them. I don't know very many people. I've seen them in bases. But, I mean, you know, I don't know about everybody else, but when someone's base gets hit and you've got all floaters, they don't have the hit points to withstand a herald at all. They don't have the hit points. So you're losing all of those things. Yeah, floater, I don't know. How can you say floaters are the best, though? I'm reading the YouTube guy. KS Man of War. How can you say it? Because it can't be hit by Jug. And if the herald don't, yeah, that's fine. That's a Jug. But if you're online, listen, if you're online and you're defending your base and you're letting a Jug kill your base, then you don't have the proper base platoon in to defend against the Jug. Because you should have multiple howlers out there, fast movers with good range that you can kite and run around well within your gun range and your missile range and your CC range to not stray too far out to let the air, you get baited out and then get killed by air. And you'll still be able to cause damage to that Jug and cause a panic with that attacker so that he makes a mistake. You know,
well, I'm going to have to agree with you.
Yeah, but you can't. It's the problem that we're coming right now in the game is that there really is no direct counter to any one unit. There's a big disparity with base defense and attack. That's the problem right now. Is that someone either brings a Jug in and you are very weak first ground, or you bring a Hades in and you're really weak first air. So people are spamming untargetable missiles, killing your CC and your hunter missiles, and then they walk all over you with the Herald, or you're set up for ground and they walk in with the Herald and walk all over you with that. So there's, and this gets back to something we were talking about in the beginning before we came on air, is what the future is going to hold with these support turrets, and are they going to fill a void, as well as the what's the one faction that doesn't have any AA units? Is it the Survivors?
Yes.
Yes.
The Survivors. So now, are we going to see a direct counter to the Herald introduced with the Survivor event coming up? Are we going to see a special AA unit that's going to be a direct counter to that? You know, there's a lot of things that could possibly be done to create more of a balance between attack and defense, because right now attack has the big thing. So a lot of people are just searching for things to do within their base that would even the playing field, and it's very difficult because you're either very strong versus one or you're very strong versus another. There's no in between middle ground.
You know what I would like to know about those support turrets? Are they able to link up with one extra turret, or maybe
Just
multiple turrets within a range?
Just one turret.
Just one turret. Okay. Well, that's a little less.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if you can own that means, because those support turrets, you have to change them. You have to install them on one of your regular platforms. So with every support turret that you install, you lose one regular turret.
Yes.
Well, I think that also comes into play the base design as well too, and how many of these support turrets are we going to get? So are you going to have to expand your base? I mean, you know, it's just. See, this is what I want to know. Is it going to be a separate turret or a separate building we're going to have to place that can attach to?
No.
It's just going to get directly associated. It's just going to get directly associated to an existing platform.
No. What I understand is you got to replace let's say an avalanche. You got to replace it for a support turret, and then you can place it next to an avalanche turret or maybe a heavy turret, and then it get a link. And then it get the bonus, what it's supposed to give, extra damage or no damage or immune to corrosion.
It's a status effect, yeah.
So it will be a separate structure?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
It's switching out one form for the other. It's like you'd swap out your turret mount, only you're actually swapping out for the support turret. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's like, well, to me, it also goes into, now, is it going to affect our base design? Since now we're going to have a limited amount of these support turrets, are we going to want them to overlap? Are we going to, you know, are we going to set them in the corners?
You can link, I believe, 3 existing turrets to it, correct?
Each.
Well,
each per each.
Each individual support turret only links one turret, and I think you get 3 of them. So yeah, you'd be able to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So 3 total, but you only have one per.
If it is limited, it's okay. But if it is limited, so you wanna replace the half of your turrets, I mean, then you have to replace 9 turrets with the support turrets. I mean, if it gonna benefit if you replace half of it, you know?
Well, a great question from the YouTube chat is that Hunter asks, he says, well, question, can you place it on a supporting turret on a heavy turret like a Hunter? And can you also place it on a CC turret?
No, you place it.
You can link the heavy to it, but you can't place it on a heavy.
You put it on a regular platform, so the support turret goes on a regular platform, but you can link it to a heavy platform. So
if we're only going to get, how many did you say we're going to get?
4. I don't know.
We're thinking 3.
All right.
Is it not 4?
Well, 4 would be more viable, considering there's 4 heavy turrets, because that would make a square or a rectangle base more viable. You could use 2 standard turrets and a heavy turret per corner in conjunction with a good solid bunker, and you could guard all 4 corners of your base. That would make it a little better.
Now I'm pulling that link or that page.
Another question, actually, what I don't know, but I would like to know: can you link one turret with 2 different support turrets?
Yeah.
So you can link one turret with the extra damage for say.
You got 3 different types, so you can link it all to one turret if you want.
Okay. So you can actually make one turret super. I mean, with immunity, extra damage, and to the drone.
Well, I'm sure there's probably going to be a radius in which you can link them to. You're probably not going to be able to link them from one side of your base to the other.
I think it's directly adjacent. I think it's like the northwest,
that's what I was thinking. The corners would be more viable because then you could go one heavy turret to 2 corner turrets, and then use those 3 per link, and then you'd be able to get 12 total turrets linked up to each one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if that is gonna be the case, I think the radius of a support turret will be very small.
Yes, it will.
Let me see if I can find them.
It'll probably be the width of 2 turrets, the footprint of two turrets.
Yeah.
Because you can only link one turret, so it'd have to be like they'll have to figure out a way to have you select. So like I guess when you plan it, you'd have to click a turret or something right next to it. Because otherwise, like there's no way for them to really set the AI to auto pick a turret, since you could put a turret in theory in any direction. Like you're not always going to pick a turret that's to the left of it, to the right of it, or something like that.
But it could be to your advantage as well, because say you spawn, say you're away in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, your air's only going to come in one side. You could have supercharged hunter missiles, say, for air. You mean just set them there?
Pick up what he said about the support turrets. Give me a second.
You know what I would like to know of the people in here. I mean, we got 3 support turrets. The one extra damage, one immunity to damage and status effect, and then the one that if it shut down drones, that it will inflict the damage on the main unit. So, which supporters would you choose?
There we go.
The damage one
only buff one other platform, not all platforms they're next to. You'll always know which platform it is, because the support turret points towards the turrets that's being buffed, because you're guessing that it would suck and not be strategic. So there's a small picture of what he's done there, but they'll only link to one turret.
Okay, so 1. Okay.
And you get 3 of them, correct? Or is it 4?
He's not.
He doesn't list.
He doesn't list it. I'm gonna go through some of the posts and see if he does, but
I thought for some reason 3 came to mind, because remember, Kixeye loves to make odd shit, which makes it difficult for us. I mean, they want you to actually have to. I mean, it's the give and take, the ebb and flow. So they want you to have to say, look, if one of these gives you the status effect immunity, one of these buffs you to give you bonus. If there's 3 traits that these individual platforms grant you, then you're probably only going to get 1 of each. You understand my rationalization there?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the bastions. Like you get one of each bastion to pick from.
Yeah, but you can't put up 2 at the same time.
Well, no, but I'm saying,
why would you be able to have 2 platforms that have status immunity? You see what I'm saying? If you can have 4, if there's 3 traits, but they're giving you 4 links, then one of those traits you could double up on, meaning you'd have 2 separate platforms, both with whichever trait you would choose. So you'd have 2 platforms that are immune to corrosion and shock or whatever. Corrosion and fire and whatever the status things are. Then the other one gives you the bonus damage, and the other one gives you the bonus resilience or whatever you want to say. I don't think they're playing it that way.
While I screenshot that particular comment there, because just in case this does happen, I'm going to use it on him when it comes out, and they have put it out.
I'm just curious. What is the supportive turret you would go to? The one with the damage, the one with the immunity for damage and status effect, or the one that if you shoot down the drones at
There we go.
damage to the main.
5 new levels
Joe,
to the defense lab.
Can you post that in the link to that forum post in the side chat so I can read too?
I can indeed.
Thank you.
If I could get the side chat to actually bloody open the damn thing. There we go. I posted that in there. So for every 5 levels, there's 5 new levels on the defense lab. With each defense lab granting access to a new support turret. So defense lab 21 gets 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you get 5.
Yeah.
With kick size addition to odd numbers, just to screw with the symmetry of bases.
You can't have a symmetrical base. That's why we have 5 power plants, not 4. You know what I mean? They screw you.
So that means you have to have a level 20 defense lab to even get the support turret.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing because the lower levels they cannot have it.
They can't. No, it's not universal for everybody in the game.
No, it's not.
And something new should be universal.
If anything, it should be lowered so that lower level players have that little bit of benefit against us big dogs.
If I'm reading this correctly, each support turret only links to one platform.
Yeah.
Correct data.
So that would just rule that out, and I guess that kind of it would support turrets
So
directly to your heavy platform.
But at max you can assume that you could have you could have 5 fusion, or you could have 2 fusion, 2 absorption, and 1 viral.
There's no actual numbers.
You're saying you get 5. You're saying you get 5 support turrets.
No. I misread that.
It's
because
5 levels.
Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. It doesn't actually say how many you can actually have. So you could, in fact, have as many as you wanted with as many turrets as you've got. I mean, it's pointless, and you have to come up with a strategic way of dealing with the support turrets and taking away from certain turrets.
How many levels does the defense lab currently have with the brand new CC?
20.
No, I have 20, but I haven't gone up yet.
No, I mean, how many can you upgrade it to? What's the max defense lab with the
20.
brand new CC?
20.
It will be 25 once everything.
It will be 25. So by reading this here, it says Defense Lab 21 grants access to 1 support, 22 grants to 2, etc., etc. So at 25, at level 25 Defense Lab, you'll be able to get 5 total turrets: 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Levels.
Those are levels, not quantity.
There's no
level 1. Okay.
It's not explaining exactly what it is, but I think, knowing Kix's Eye, I think, for instance, let's take the fusion. The fusion supporter is about damage. So let's say the level 1 is giving you 10% extra damage. Let's say level 2 gives you 20% extra damage. And I'm saying that is the number, but I think that is the case. What's going on?
Highlighted right there. Support turrets are a new turret top that can go on top of any standard platform.
Yeah, not heavy, just a standard platform.
So no
that says there's no limitations. There's no limit to how many support turrets you can actually.
No. You can't sit there because I mean, look, I'll put it this way. It's stating that you can place this specific mount onto any one of your standard turrets. Meaning you can put it on on an armored turret, or you can put it on a floating platform, or I should say platform, not turret. So you can put it on an armored platform, you can put it on a floating platform. That's the explanation there. Don't read into it that you can put it on every. I mean, you're obviously not going to put it on every single platform except one. You know,
you'd run out of room.
11 you wouldn't have any actual defensive platforms. You'd have all support platforms and 1 defensive platform.
11
could only link to 1, the others would link to nothing. You see what I'm saying?
11
any
is the max.
standard is not any standard is not any heavy platform.
Precisely. It will be a floating.
Standard are just the regular ones where you put on your avalanches. Those are the standards one.
Yes, and it also can't go on your CC. It's not part of your storm or that. It's only on.
No, it says any platform. So that would go for heavy platforms and your
standard platform on any standard platform. It doesn't say any platform. It says
heavy
standard
platform is not the standard one.
But previously it says you can put them on heavies.
No, where?
No, you can put them. You can put them next to heavies, but it's you can't put them on a heavy.
You can link them. You can
link it to a heavy.
You can link them. So you put them on the standard one, you place them next to a heavy one, and then it will link with the heavy one. But you cannot put the supported one on a heavy one. You can link it up. That's the difference.
Okay, so let's do this real quick. So levels grant, in assumption, a better quality of effect from the buff. It is not adding a quantity. We don't know the total quantity of these support turret mounts that you can build, but we know that there will be 5 levels to them, which will grant greater buffs as you go up the levels. You can link one defensive turret mount to one of these turret tops, these support turret tops. That's all we know right now.
So reading down a little further, Wrong Thinker comments, he goes, it does add a layer of strategy as well, since you really need to manage your turrets. Do you convert 9 standard platforms into fusions to bolster all of your remaining 9? Or do you convert 15 and link them to your heavy platforms into monsters, putting 3 support turrets, 1 of each type on each? Basically, platform management becomes a part of your defensive strategy. So some bases might end up with a bunch of support turrets. Some may only have a few. If we gave them their own dedicated space, all people would max out on them. But now you've got to make a choice. And this layer of diversity should make attacking other players and countering them way more interesting.
All right, so that's where I thought that before I was saying they could link 3 to 1. Because if he's stating, read if what data is reading and what he's quoting, it states, hear me out. If you're converting 9 of your regular platforms to support platforms, leaving 9 of the 18 that you link them to. Okay, so 1 to 1. The other one says converting 15 and linking them to the remainder. If you're going to link 15 to the remainder, that means you can link more than one style of support platform to a single turret that way. So he's either misquoting himself, not Data King, but either Wrong Thinker is not giving an accurate information, or I'm just misreading his intent in that statement.
The intent with that statement, and what I can see, one turret doesn't bolster multiple turrets, but multiple turrets can bolster, multiple support turrets can bolster one single turret.
Yes, so you can link a fusion and a, what's another version?
The fusion, the viral...
Fusion and absorption to a heavy flood. All right, heavy turret.
Yes, but at the end, is it worth it at the end? I mean,
are they confusing the shit?
I think at the time they were still working out some of the kinks. I don't know if they fully hashed out the way they're going to present it to us yet. So I even think, I think the concept they have down pat. I think how they're going to present it to us is still up in the air, and I think that's what they're probably been working on since they've announced it. I'm going to keep reading through this thread to see if he makes any more comments, if I see anything viable.
He makes a fair amount of comments. Some of them he screenshotted and gone
over. Sulaco posted some images of them, yeah.
I think the fusion is the one I will probably not go for. I mean, if the fusion would be worth something, it should be more than 50% extra damage boost.
50% is a lot of damage.
Yeah, but if you take down one turret for the absorption, then it's actually a 50%. You take down one and then up. I don't think it's going to be worth it. I think the most worth it is the immunity or the green one with the drones, because a lot of people attack you with drone.
The viral one is only really good if you have a high DPS like an anti-air. And really, you're going back to what Data said earlier about base construction and changing over our platforms. You have two main things here. You have the Juggernaut, which again he's stipulating the splash damage unit. So Juggernaut, huge splash damage. The Herald, huge splash damage. But if you're going to do this, these support things really do force the player to reevaluate what platforms they have, and not only that, what turret mounts they're using. Because Viral, for me, is only good for an anti-air turret. And that really only goes to killing off the drones for the Omega Titan.
Well, he goes down. That's
doesn't
what
touch
I say about that. He goes, one of the fun things about support turrets is they help create counter strategies. Getting harassed by sandstorms and heralds, pair fusion and viral turrets to your hunters. Are people missiling out all of your heavy platforms? We'll protect them with absorption turrets. Just make sure that you're looking at your attack log to see what your defensive strategy should be accordingly.
But that's after you've been flattened, so it's nice to look back at what you've already been destroyed with.
The first reaction of Phil, he says 50% is a lot, but if you put it only on one turret, 50% extra damage on one turret, then it's not a too bad of deal, you know.
Unless you put it in, unless you're using it straight on the railgun. I mean,
I got one comment about that level 12 CC, right? They give you the new walls, right? Those fucking walls will fucking, they're immune to judge.
Flash like anything. Yeah.
So that's kind of balancing it out right there alone. Because I've been attacked by jugs, heralds, and all that shit at the same time without even a fucking 1-star, man.
Phil, on page 3, second post down, he throws a picture up there. It's a great question. It was asking about what they support. He said, I realize this may not be, may have been clarified. Support turrets only buff one other platform, not all platforms they're next to. You will always know which platform that is because the support turret actually points towards the turret that it's buffing, because you're right, guessing would suck and not be strategic. And they show a picture of what it would look like in motion. And it literally shows a platform with no gun on top, with a support thing on top of it, linked directly to an avalanche turret.
Yes.
I zoomed in on the image so you can see exactly what it is.
Yeah, and what I'm assuming is that that's probably what you're going to see. Is you're going to see, if you pick the Viral, it's going to have a green laser-like band that links itself to that avalanche. Or if you picked Absorption, it would be blue shooting at the avalanche.
To me, you would now have to sacrifice 4 to 5 of your turrets to boost your hunters or your heavy platforms to shrink the footprint of your base, because now you would not be able to spread out with all the turrets that you have, because you would sacrifice 4 to 5 platforms to put these on there to make your heavy platforms more viable, or to boost specific turrets that you already have in your base.
I'm going back to my medieval fucking base design.
Well, no,
smart player's gonna fucking target those fucking turrets too.
Hunter asked a good question a little bit further on in the chat. So what's the when these support turrets finally come in, what's the tactical option for actually hitting bases? Do you take out the support turret or just the turret it supports?
It depends. It depends. Because the absorption one, the absorption one, if you link up with the turret, it absorbs damage or
so you'd have to go for the support one.
So you have to go for the support one.
Absolutely.
With the Viral, I would go for the turret itself. So I'd hit the avalanche so it stops killing the drones.
Well, then again, that also brings into the fact of what platform do you have it placed on? Do you have it placed on the ones we were talking about with the reinforced platforms? Are you going to put it on a floater? Or are you going to put it on an armored? I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
You think of it like this. You think of it like this. All right, each one. What is the fusion? The fusions. What do they do again? I forget off the top of my head. Do they block the status effects?
Yes.
So if you're going to put a fusion top on, you put it on the one that
insulated.
The insulated. So then, not only is that fusion platform insulated, so if
you don't have shock.
Here's the thing. So if you shock the support platform and it's not on an insulated, it shuts down that platform and stops the boost to the platform it's boosting.
Yes, that was what I was.
So you would have to make sure that platform is directly linked to what it's countering and what it's boosting for the main platform you've got to connect it to. So it opens up all kinds of weird things.
It also depends on what is the range of the absorption turret. What is the range to the linked up one?
It has to be directly.
It's directly linked to it. So once it's linked, that turret gets that buff.
I'm thinking you have
not the turret it's mounted on, not the support turret it's mounted on. Only the one it's connected to.
But how far has to be that absorption turret away from that link?
I will go out on a limb, and I am completely just pulling this out of my ass. But from that small graphic underneath, what I'm saying is the two turrets, white. Yeah, they're white. They're white illuminated base have to touch. So it's like linking two wall blocks next to each other. You have to do that. Now I'm going to assume you can go end to end, corner to corner, or side to side. But I'm saying they have to touch.
So if it has to be next to each other, so that means the absorption one you have to go for the absorption turret. It's not that far away, so that means you don't have to travel that far further to take out a turret. So I think that is it's.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Hey guys, my thought on these fucking support turrets is there's no use for them. That's my thought. Because bunkers are fucking good. They're your bunkers, your towers, whatever you have, your fucking strongholds. They're doing the damage. Your fucking turrets are there as a distraction anyway, and they're not gonna fucking do anything to an incoming fucking herald or an incoming fucking jug. They're not gonna do the fucking thing. So
I think you weaken up your base too much.
You're definitely putting yourself at a disadvantage if you think that having more of these is a better thing. I think having a minimal amount, maybe 4 total, is about all you really need.
Put it into context. You think about it. Okay, someone drops a herald in your base. You're loaded with avalanche. Does any of the avalanche turrets actually shoot that herald?
No.
I can't. So so you're looking at 18 wastes of space. 18 things sucking up power. So can you afford to take 4 of those things and take them away and link them to your heavies?
I mean,
your heavy platforms for your hunters, so your hunters are now more viable. Yeah. The answer to that is yes. So it really doesn't weaken up your base. It actually adds an extra DPS or an extra dynamic to keep those turrets that actually are doing damage to those big units alive, and vice versa to the rail guns or those rocket launcher things that you have, the overlords.
Yeah, see, the only sad thing about the only sad thing about railguns specifically is the railgun. I would say the absorption. I wouldn't go with the fusion the viral, because it's a one target thing. It's not going to shoot. You don't want to shoot drones. It doesn't have drones to shoot at.
With rails, you'd go fusion
or absorption.
You'd probably go fusion and viral.
Does fusion increase the fire rate?
I don't know.
Well, for the heavies, you go for fusion, and I think the standards maybe for the absorptions.
Fusion is a damage.
Fusion is extra damage.
That's the beginning of the post. If
there was a fire rate thing for one of them turrets, I'd put it fucking straight by the
absorption means they are immune for damage and for status, but if the absorption turret get hit, it will be transferred to the linked up turret. And the viral, if that one hits the drones, the damage of the drones will go to the main unit. So if you are attacking with a Titan and the drones getting hit by the viral one, your main unit will get damage from the drones.
Well, Iron Hand, if people are running absorption turrets, its electric will go one by the wayside.
Yeah.
But it's electric, it's going to go by the wayside anyway because of that.
But what you forget is it's only that one turret. Because you can only link up that one or you have to take down the half of your platforms, so you can
Cover the other half with the absorption
the other,
buff.
yeah, and that
Yeah.
is something you probably don't do.
I
So
don't know about that.
it's only the only one turret that is immune to damage and status effect.
I think
Hey,
we've
well,
all come to the consensus the only viable place for the turrets is to put on your heavies, because other than that, I mean, you're just wasting it on a standard platform that either doesn't shoot air or doesn't shoot ground or doesn't shoot both.
I
You know what I
think
mean? So-
I'm not going to
think a lot
change
of-
mine
a lot
until
of-
I catch a base with that shit equipped.
That
and
gives you a hard
fighting it.
time. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of people, they attack lately with the Herald. So you put down a hunter with a link to fusion, and then it will have extra damage. So you take down the Herald quicker.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
That's what I'm thinking. Is I'm gonna link it to a hunter.
Yeah.
And
That would be
because
a
I'm
good
not
idea.
really feeling
Yeah.
like they're saying over on YouTube. I seriously doubt that it's gonna stop a Jug or Herald anyways, but it'll give you some more damage output, DPS.
They'll give you that
so that
extra
you can-
time to fucking take it with your heavies.
I mean,
Yeah, Wrong Thinker goes on to say later on the 7th page, he says you will not be getting additional platforms. This means that you'll have to give up an avalanche
Yeah.
to get a support turret. However, one avalanche linked to a single max level fusion will be worth roughly 3 avalanches worth of damage.
That's
So
pretty good, man. I'm gonna do at least one.
Yeah, and test it out.
So that
Oh,
that means that means it will be 150% extra damage.
I'm gonna do it to my 100 though.
Well, see, the problem is that we didn't get 2 extra turrets with the final CC, which would make a square base symmetrical. The problem is if you want to make a square base right now, you've got 5 on one side, 5 on another, and then 4 and 4. If we
Yeah.
got an additional 2 turrets, it would mean that you would only have to sacrifice 1 turret per equal square side of a base or rectangle side of a base.
Into your corners, basically. Yeah.
Well, yeah, which would make 4 symmetrical square sides to your base, and you could take one of those turrets each and then link it to your heavy turrets, which wouldn't actually dictate or change the footprint of your base drastically, because you could still have a circle base or a square or rectangle base, and then you could use those additional turrets platforms to mount your fusions on and then connect them to your heavy supports. See, that's where I think they rushed into it a little bit, and I think they probably should have given us this, because if you look at it now, though, I mean, on a square base, you're going to have 1 turret taken away, you're going to have another turret taken away, so that means you're going to have 4, 4, 3, and 3. So you're going to lose 4 turrets. It's going to really shrink the footprint of your base a lot.
Yeah.
Because those turrets, you're not going to want them out front. You're not going to want them on the same line. You're going to want them behind, because you're going to want someone to come in to get to those things. You don't want them on the front line, so it's easily targeted up close. You want it back further in your base, so it stays within your guns and they all overlap and shoot. So it's just going to make base design that much more difficult.
Well, my opinion is at this time, it's gonna weaken you too much.
I think I'm gonna do at least one.
Hunters, I think I would do my hunters.
Yep.
I think,
when we get up there, y'all get them done. Yeah.
Yep. Hunters.
I-
That's my idea.
I think I will link up 1 hunter, and the rest I will. Yeah. I think I will link up one hunter, and that's it.
I mean, if any of them gave it like a fire rate boost, that would be fucking awesome. That would be fucking really cool. I'd be all into that, man. I'd change my fucking. I'd set one of those by each of my hunters. If they change the fire rate of the hunters,
Well, you're better off with reload on hunter because he only fires 1 bullet.
yeah, that's
You
what I'm
can't
saying,
make
man. But he
can't
targets
fire-
forever.
You can't fire 1 bullet faster, but you can make him reload a lot quicker.
Something like that. I'd be all in, man.
I mean, that would be a big plus. I mean, that would take down a Herald nicely.
Make the hunter fire like a seeker, 3 shots.
That'd be just so mean to people. Not that I'm saying I'm mean or nothing, but
The diabolical laugh gives it away.
Well, I mean, we can only speculate so much. It's going to be coming out soon, so we'll be able to get our hands on it. I don't. Do you think this is going to go into a PTS?
It should.
If
It should go into a preview first.
That would be amazing because we'll be able to put all speculation to the wind. Because that's, I mean, we're kind of just doing right now, spitballing ideas and speculating.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, just based off the information we've had, and that's nothing new. I mean, we've done this. I did this 2 years ago, and I'm sure you guys have done this plenty of times between that.
I wish we had some kind of preview for this thing, man.
Well, if it comes, it comes.
It should. If there is a preview, there should definitely be a preview, and I'm sure somebody at Kickstarter will see this at some point later on. Because these things get forwarded there all the time, even the impromptu stuff.
If you want them to do a preview, all you have to do is just speculate that they have to do a preview, or there could be the possibility that their one support turret might accidentally, through some code fault, start linking to multiple turrets. So it's better to have a preview, and then they can see that, oh, no, the person had one fusion, but four turrets were getting affected.
Can Car get the link there for the show there? They're asking there on YouTube, please.
Who's that?
Car Grail, is it you call him, the one that makes the videos and that there?
I can do that. That guy can't plays the game more than anybody I've ever met.
he lives in the game. Let's see.
I'm just reading over
there's one.
Data's post actually about the shop. I think we've discussed that a couple of times.
Yeah,
well, I don't think we've ever been live.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. I don't know if everybody's known that recently. There's been a lot of these packages that have been available for 24 hours.
Oh yeah, that's
so I mean, I personally have gotten 3 of them. Three of the last 5. Packages that have and there's another one that's currently out right now. It's the Heroes Collectors Pack. It's the Expert Baldur, Expert Doran, and Brother Jeremiah for 39 gold.
They offer the ones that people aren't asking for all the time. Like if they had the Expert Jericho and the Dante in there, I would have bought it in a heartbeat.
That's one that I missed too. Was the Expert Jericho.
What people need to do is just make a constructive post on the forums about these packages.
And that Data's done exactly that.
Yeah,
exactly that.
But to include the fucking tech. I mean, the tech is needed for those fucking units, man. The Jericho is fucking useless without that tech.
Without range and concussion.
Well, that's the post that I made. I made a post earlier today. I said I asked for this years ago, but it fell on deaf ears. So now 2 to 3 years later, I will reintroduce the idea of having a shop key at the top of the forum for new returning players to purchase items they have missed in past events. Here's my detailed proposal for a suggested offer. We all are aware that a recent 24-hour Hero Expert Units bundles are available for 39 to 49 gold. These units are great, but they include no tech. My suggestion is to offer the 24-hour special deal, but to also offer them with the tech in the 24-hour period. Then move them into a not yet created shop tab in the forum where they would or could be offered at an increased price, let's say 150 gold, just an example, that includes tech. After returning from an absence of 2 years, I guess I expected some changes to be made that still have not. Granted, we have gotten a lot of in-game content, but there are still quite a few quality of life changes that have yet to be made. I'm available for consultation, Kixeye, and would like to have Wrong Thinker on a show to discuss some ideas that would help the player base and Kixeye. And he went on to comment later on down the bottom, which is really awesome. He says, this isn't a bad idea. We're actually going to try to make non-new, more affordable, I guess that would be units in the upcoming event store, so you won't even have to spend gold to get a better deal. Just make sure you use your event restart. So they're probably going to require a lot of XP, but right now we're heads down on a combination of major features coming over the next month. Some quality of life improvements and our major performance improvement initiative with the goal of having some solid performance improvements in your hands by October's event. After that, it's very likely we'll be devoting more serious time towards quality of life improvements. We know we're due for some big QOL features. So, I mean, You know, he didn't really answer my question as far as that related, but you know, they're working on certain things. But
and that right there, Data, and all you guys, that's a fucking money maker for Kickstarter right there. They would bank off of that shit. I'm telling you, people would spend. People would spend. They would coin their fucking asses off.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, like I said, I bought 3 out of 5 packages. I didn't buy this one because I don't think it's viable. I mean, Doran and Baldur, I don't think are a great value. I already have Brother Jeremiah, so why would I buy this pack to scrap Brother Jeremiah, who's a level 20, to build a new level Jeremiah, who's a level 1? That doesn't make any sense. You know, it's kind of
well, I think you missed the promotion to the advanced versions. So if you've got a level 20 Brother Jeremiah, you can promote him to advanced Brother Jeremiah.
Yeah, but it would still cost me resources and time and everything.
Do it.
Yeah, but why? I mean, why would I do that? But so just to get an expert Doran and Baldur, which I don't have any of those associated units to go along with them anyway. Why do I want a glorified Hellfire that has 500 range? You know, and all the other ones that I have only have 475. So
Doran's a bad little unit when you have his tech for him. If you don't have his tech, he's useless. But if you're fully teched out, Doran is a damn good unit.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. But this offer is directly focused on players who missed these units and obviously didn't get the tech for them because they don't have the units, or players returning to the game like me who don't have them and don't have the tech. So for me to purchase these particular units, it's a waste. So, but in retrospect, the offer that was before was the not the one before that was before. It was well, I got Dina, but the one before Dina was Jericho, and I missed that. And I would have gotten that anyway because I would have had a great use for even Jericho without tech. It would have done me, you know, a strategic player more use.
The thing, you know, we're going. I mean, I'm going to reiterate the point here, but I was going to Jericho. Jericho is absolutely useless without that tech.
Yeah. Video I had is with Advanced Jericho.
That's the best fucking unit in the game too, right there.
I mean, Jericho's expert, but without the HH2, Jericho is useless.
Yeah.
This is what I have, Phil.
What do we got?
I'll show you on the screen in a second.
Without that gold tech, Jericho, I mean, he's still viable as a unit, but he's useless otherwise.
Yeah, you get the additional, what do you get? The range by 100, and then the rate of fire, and then the clip.
The viability of Jericho without HH2 targeting is a fire and run. It's a hit and quit unit, because if you try to use him without a very rapid retreat, he is smoked by everything in the game today.
But not only that, but you would want him paired with other howlers, right?
He's the fucking best unit in the fucking game.
But you would want him paired with other howlers. You wouldn't want him out by himself.
No, I take him out by himself all the time, man. I do him to fucking do the Iron Strike 60s.
The Iron Strike 60s. Most of the things I've put out recently, use just Jericho, because he still is the best unit in the game.
Yes, with a gold expert Jericho and gold tech, he is by far the best land-based unit today.
He's the best overall unit. He's the best defensive unit. You can put him in his base, and that Jericho will take out a fucking Jug alone.
Yes, that's right. An Omega Jug.
An Omega Jug.
Even if you don't have expert, you can still use advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, advanced
will take out a fucking Jug.
Now, here's a question. Now, here's a question. And some of you guys coin, most of you coin, some of you don't, some of you do. But this offer was available for 49 gold. It included Jericho and 2 other units. I don't remember off the top of my head. For this particular unit offered in that package with tech, with say 2 techs, okay, for each one of those units, what do you think would be a respectable price for those 3 units with 2 techs each?
Depending on the tech they offered, if they
I would say 300.
Let's do 1 offensive, 1 defensive. So 1 armor and 1 offensive tech, whether it's the clip or the range, one or the other.
I would say, okay, here's my range, right? My spending limit, so to say, 200 to 300 gold.
Well, I'm gonna micromanage my answer.
No,
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give you two answers. I'm gonna say you're talking 3 units, 6 tech, 2 tech per unit, 3 units. So yeah, I will go with your 300 gold or 299 gold.
Spend that easy, man. Fuck that.
But no, stop. I'm just for the moderate person who can't afford that in this game, who plays this to be a free-to-play game.
Understood.
Because you're getting 3 units of value and you're getting 2 tech for each unit, I can say that it is still Kixeye anally fist bumping your bunghole, but they're not totally punching it in. It's worth the money. However, I would have rather seen them offer single unit with 2 tech, meaning they offer you Jericho with the HH2 as your offense or the clip.
You can change the package to anything though. You can offer 3 units, but just the best unit gets the tech. So
they should be offering these heroes. What they should be doing is offering these heroes alone, right? Your Dina alone with
2 or 3 tech. Yeah.
150 gold.
And I wouldn't go 153. I would go 79 or something. Unless they're guaranteeing you the high end tech. If they're just giving you red tech or silver tech.
Well, how about one rare tech and 1 silver tech?
I can go up in 100.
Rare tech being the offensive, and the silver tech being an armor defensive.
Then I'll give you the 99, 100 gold. Yeah, no problem.
For 150 gold. This is the prime pack, so to speak. You get that you'd have the main tactic, which is Fury for Jericho, Shredder for Dina. Get that bloody clip in there, and at least 1 of the gold HH2 targeting. 150 gold. That is the prime point. It's not too much. It's not too little, and you get a damn good bunch of shit for the money.
Yeah.
See, we're giving Kixeye ways that us players would be willing to spend money, and normally companies spend years.
Yeah, as a company, they should be listening.
Normally, companies. I'm a business major in college, and where it was, I guess I graduated, but companies will pay thousands and thousands and years of research and all that, and customers generally don't tell the company, hey, do this and we'll spend more money. Here we are on a YouTube show for free, telling you guys what you can do to
promoting. It's self-promotion. We're promoting what we play and how to make it better for us and for them.
Well, look, Kixeye War Commander is a totally different monster than anything any business really has to put out in the public. We are devoted into the continuing investment of this game and the continuation and the expansion of this game over time. We players here, I mean, the people on this panel have 5-6 years in. You know, the people out on YouTube have 3, 4, 5, 6 years in playing this game. We're loyal players. It's not like people buying the sham WoW for the first time. You know, it's this game. It grows with us, and we grow with it. Things that we've put on both platforms, Unshackled and the other show, have come into the game. We've watched it get developed, and we've kind of in the forums and on YouTube and on Facebook and posts. We know that Kixeye listens and takes our thoughts into consideration. Now, do they always listen to us? No, they're going to do what they want, whatever they want to do.
What they're going to do, yeah.
But we have spearheaded efforts to make this game better on both ends of the spectrum.
An event show a while back that we did, where there was a spot you would deploy and you would immediately be jumped on. And the show made the suggestion of moving that spawn point to the other end of the spawn point from one side of the map to the other. That was it. And within half an hour to an hour, the newer bases that were spawning on the map spawned from the spot that we suggested, and it enabled that base to be done quite easily.
And it gained money because people didn't walk away from that event. They kept playing. They coined little repairs and whatever they had to do. and it made Kixeye understand little gifts to the players to make something doable. It actually benefits them monetarily.
All the things we've just suggested, man, is a fucking moneymaker for Kixeye. 100%.
I'll say 75%. We've suggested some shit that really wouldn't make them any money, but it would make the game.
No, what we just suggested would make money though.
This, yes, absolutely.
This is a guaranteed moneymaker if Kixeye pay attention.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure. I agree.
You got to please the bean counters before you can do anything else. Because if the bean counters aren't happy with the decision, or they're not happy with the suggestion, or it's not economically viable, as I've been stated by previous CMs in the past for certain changes.
Car Girl,
hell, I will right
I
now.
have to interrupt here. Car Girl, how come you only have 100 infamy, man? Because I'm gonna go flatten you real quick.
I'm gonna jump right back on track, but I've got to say now. Bro. I got to say right now, Dr. Phil, you're dead on, because, I mean, that's one of the things. I'll be honest. I've been on the fence with Wrong Thinker. I've gone back and forth on the field with him, thinking, you know, okay, he's full of shit on this, but I can understand why he's bullshitting, and he's honest and he's devoted to the game. And when he did come on our show the last time, it was very respectful. But he gained 1,000 points over anybody that I've ever had to deal with in a business sense. He literally said, well, we can't do this because it's a financial burden to our corporation. It's not financially beneficial to the corporation. So I'm just going to, I mean, he didn't blatantly say, screw you, it doesn't make us money, fuck off, we're not doing it. But he said it in a proper manner that you got to understand, I'd love to see this sort of, or it makes sense, but it won't fly. It won't hold water because it doesn't make enough money it doesn't benefit the financial side of the game. So I get a lot of respect when he stated that.
This would be nothing but a quality of life and moneymaker for the company with minimal investment and minimal. You know, there's nothing but upside to this.
Yeah.
Nothing
There really isn't.
It could be. There's endless amounts of combinations that you could make to put into this particular shop. You could do endless types of. You can do single unit packages, triple unit packages, 5-unit packages. You could do packages, singles with tech, singles with double tech, singles with elite tech, triples with elite tech. There's so many. You could put air and ground combos. You could do just air combo. There's so many different things.
And they have the coins now. They have the upgrade coins. So you could do mid-level or you know, very close to max level units, and then a coin bonus that'll make you get at least a level 12 instead of stopping at 10. You know what I mean? There are things they can do that span the gap, and these are things they've already done. I mean, they've done triple tech or triple unit packages. They've done tech packages and unit packages. So I mean, you're absolutely right. It's a moneymaker.
And Hunter,
what did I say?
Lately when I was on Facebook with Cyberman the other day, I heard a response that not everyone has advanced Jericho, and most don't have the range tech on them. Even you have the expert Jericho on it, you don't have the range tech on it.
Yeah.
The tech, I mean, it goes with any unit that's come out. For Bob probably Jug and Herald, but even they have tech now that makes them better than they were. Most of the units that come out straight away off the bat are pointless without tech, because it's sort of like, it's almost like dealing with companies that have the quote unquote day one DLC sort of thing.
So you're attacking this is Cargo. You're attacking a Iron Strike 60, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, this is good little thing you're showing here, but high levelers, you're like lazy.
Yeah.
This is the thing I brought up the other day when I hit the VK65s. Most players these days don't do it the way it should be done. They brute force the bases. Yeah. They don't take the time that is necessary. They just brute force it.
Yeah, but
and then complain about the repairs.
Jericho is.
You can take up to 3 minutes. Take it completely out with your Jericho, or how I actually do it all the time is I take my Jericho, take out the 2 hunters, and then smash it with the Sandstorm and the Titan.
I don't even do that, man. I don't use Omega Juggernaut anymore. I don't use it for attack. So I use it for PvE. I just send my fucking jug there, put it on Ruby, and fucking leave.
You're welcome for that idea, champ.
Thanks, Daba.
But that's why I like War Commander, because you can choose to you got speed and repairs, or slow and minimal repairs.
Seriously,
you can choose to do a base. Like I do these Iron Strike 60s. I throw a jug in there, Ardra, hit Ruby, and I take a little more damage, but it gets it done a lot quicker.
I don't use my jug in attack anymore. I don't.
If I wanted a lot less repairs, I would take my time and do.
If you can do it only with Jericho, but it's risky because you are risky to take more damage. If you do it with your Jericho combined with your
Jericho is not much
Omega and the Omega Amigos, then you get free repair.
I use Growler and Jericho for these bases.
Yeah. I just send my jug on Ruby and then leave.
The only thing you have to watch is the nasty hunters. How they called? The ones that the hellhounds.
No, my enemies were fucking gonna go snipe my jug too. Fuckers.
Oh Jesus!
Assholes.
Killing a jug tune is the most satisfying thing I've had so far lately.
Yeah, that is.
I grabbed the guy's tune earlier on, and he cried and bitched in the chat for about an hour. I'm going to repair for 3 days. Yeah, it's not damn fault for being an idiot.
I have to say, I totally agree with your statement on the last episode about how it's fucking annoying when they use the retreat.
Oh, sorry for the bad
connection.
I hate that.
If you are able to retreat that platoon, you should have a penalty for doing so.
Yep.
I like the idea that Data King gave up of a timer. If you are locked and do not get out within 60 seconds, then that tune no longer can retreat. Basically, the retreat button has a bar that starts green and just tinks down yellow and then red. And once it's red, the button goes gray and you can't click it. That would be awesome.
Once I deploy, you shouldn't be able to retreat. And if you do retreat, you should suffer 50% loss. 50% health on all your units should happen. And if you retreat prior to I deploy, then it's a 25% on all your units.
Yeah.
There should be no reward for running away. No army,
unless
army has ever been rewarded for running away. They always suffered a loss. Look at Dunkirk, the most recent movie ever made. Look at the losses that were endured for them for retreating. They lost all they got out with was personnel. They lost all of their tanks. They lost all their infrastructure, all their cannons, everything they had. They lost all that stuff.
This is the only thing I have to say. For a player with a game like anti-69ers, don't 69 yourself, bro. That's all I'm saying.
If you're 69 and yourself, isn't that a hand job?
No.
That's a nurse job.
That's messed up, dude. I'm not getting involved in this conversation. I'm keeping my wits about it today.
Oh dear.
Are we going to try out some of the
Understood. I figured as much.
What's everybody going to go? Are they going to go Corpus, or are they going to go Survivor, or something?
Corpus?
Now I know a little bit more about this faction stuff. I'm staying with the Corpus, actually. It helped me a lot doing the Sentinel 100 the other day.
One thing.
Yeah, it just sucks having to switch out every unit in your base to a corpus-based unit.
That's not going to happen. I will forego the base buff for the simple fact of the offensive one is much better.
Yes.
I will forego the defensive buff in order to continue to accurately defend my shitty base as much as I can.
Yeah, I think the same because I've you know, I just love Jericho, and it is a monster in there on its own. You know, it'll take out anything that throws at it. So I don't know how I'm going to lose it.
It does. I mean, for PvE, the faction trait is definitely a thing to go for. But as for PvP, because offensive tunes and defensive tunes generally are a mix, it's difficult to say I want this for this reason and this for this reason and this for this reason. It's incredibly difficult to actually pick and choose one that you want to take permanently. PvE is where the faction trait does come into its own.
Yeah.
And since most of the units that I have and that I use on a regular basis are either Sentinel or Corpus, and Liberators really can't be shocked. So that's all I'm looking out for.
My opinion.
And very rarely bases have concussion. So.
Okay, I want to say one thing as pertaining to the retreating platoons. This is my idea. Kixeye, you can take this. This is on the house. Have it so that if you retreat a plat, instead of it taking damage, make it so that that platoon cannot be deployed for 1 hour.
That's a good idea.
Ooh,
If you hit the retreat button, you cannot deploy that tune from the map to the map for 1 hour.
That's a good idea too. I like that.
I like that. I like that. I'll go with that.
That's a dick move.
If I would have been able to get back into the show on Wednesday, I would have said it on Wednesday, but I was in the YouTube chat screaming, tagging Phil, tagging Data King, like, someone read this out loud.
I like that. It's a
idea,
mandatory
that's
1 hour
a good idea.
rearming period. I like that. That would be good.
Yeah.
I do like that. And I only I rarely deploy heavy platoons on the map, so I'm happy with that.
I never deploy heavy tunes.
And if
Are you telling me that my dog is not going to be deployable for an hour? Fuck that.
Hey, round thinker, you can have that one on the house. The next idea I give you will be gold to my account.
Fuck off.
Yeah, okay.
Kixeye doesn't respond well to that. I've tried it before.
Because in a real battle, when you retreat, you don't immediately go on the offensive again. You sit back, re-strategize and all that, and then you go back on the attack. So you regroup, you get with your forces, get stronger forces and do a counterattack. That's what I was looking for.
Now,
and you plan. And so, an hour rearming, an hour would be good.
How would you combat deleting that tune, though?
You have it on lockdown.
That's all right then. Just because the easy way would be to delete the tune if it was a buggy, say, or something like that, and then make a new one.
To the way you'd have with the Legion.
It would be the same as your It would be the same as your repair system, I would assume. So you can't remove items from your queue until it's fully repaired. When it comes to things like a PvE.
Honestly, what donkey would retreat an instant repair buggy anyway? Let them kill it. And
there's noobs out there that would be like, no.
Well, that's their own sucker dog fault for retreating an instant repair friggin' buggy, friggin' window licker. Yeah, Christ's sake, fucking retreating a buggy. Fucking shitter.
I mean, I have never retreated a fucking buggy ever. I have retreated my heavy tuner a couple of times way back.
I mean, because all they've done now in tune sniping on the map is just reduced it to buggy versus buggy. Freaking Archangel versus buggy. It's like why am I wasting my fucking time, man?
There's still some assholes out there that post like they put fucking big tunes by their base, man.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fine, but there's a lot of guys out there that put all lives out there. There's guys that
I'll give you a perspective that most people don't take when it comes to, because I do a little bit of tune sniping, and most of my tune sniping is not offensive to help out clansmates, but it's actually to defend my own base. I mean, people when they come attack me, it's like 6 people at a time, and I'm taking their tunes before they can get in my base just to fuck with them. But my perspective with this isn't even the loss to either side, but it is the amount of data that my computer takes, which causes a crash once I try to defend my base if they do get in. It is the problems with hitting a tune and then they retreat and then they hit a tune. It's adding all this stuff to your cache. And with a game that's the system that we run on and the issues that we have with the game on a regular basis of having to refresh, that really does put a huge strain when people can use that to their advantage. And believe me, I know people who do that on purpose. They send crap, let you attack, hit retreat, because it just adds more data to your cache, and eventually you're going to lag or flash crash.
So here's one thing that people are, I mean, Hunter brought it up in the chat. How do you deal with a stealth platoon? Like camo detonators, for instance?
Infiltrators, camo detonators, camo...
fast movers. You got to have fast movers. You got to have something to reveal the position and then move in.
And set fist on them fuckers.
Yeah.
That's all I ever do. I just send
Onis. Have a couple Onis in your air platoon. Throw them out there. Drive Ruby on. Put them to the center where the platoon usually would be. They'll cross the map, cross over it. Once they're revealed, they're going to keep going back to that location over and over again. Then you deploy your Furies, your Bone Saws, whatever your fast-moving choppers, high DPS are. You get them out there and you kill it. It might take a couple extra seconds, but that's how you do it.
Set fist too.
Yeah, set it on fist and it chases it all over and it'll never outplay it.
Every time you jump to a new sector, you got to refresh every single fucking time.
Yeah, that's getting old.
Tags. Every time you jump.
It's getting very aggravating that.
Yep. Every single time you jump.
I was doing a test on Nyx versus the Hunter, so it has a lot of damage resistance. When you have corpus units deployed.
Oh yeah.
See the buff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it takes one shot is 15% maximum health. So you could take 6 or 7 shots from a single hunter just with a Fury or a Nyx or something like that.
Assuming that the hunter actually does enough health, enough damage to be more than 50% of his health.
Oh, it does. Especially in the 80s and the high level base. There is a lot of damage that comes out there.
Yep.
See this? See that one hit is definitely more than free repair. All right, like
probably looking at about 7 or 8 minutes.
That's one of the new ones.
A
lot 7 or 8 minutes over an hour is it's takeable.
So that is why I would stay with the Corpus faction. You know why? Sentinel units are strong. Most of the time, the Sentinel units are strong. The survivor units are strong too.
So what, Car?
Okay, I'm back.
Cheers.
What faction are you going to go for? It's Corpus then you're going to go for?
I would stay with Corpus.
Yeah.
Everybody else going Corpus? Anybody different?
I'm going Corpus.
Okay, I got a question. With the Corpus traits, is that only for base defenders, or is that the same if you're using the Corpus units to attack?
It's both attack and defense.
Yes.
I'm going to Corpus then.
So
I was Corpus when this whole thing started. I'm not intending to change.
Corpus, the only thing is with your base defense, you can't have libs in your bunkers.
So,
well, I don't care. I'm talking using Furies and Phoenixes for attack.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I mean, I will forego the base defense thing just so I can continue to do what I do.
Yeah.
I rarely have defenders in my base anyway, except for libs in the bunkers, because my base is not strong enough to deal with a lot of shit. Neither will it. It probably won't be for quite a while. But
you know, you guys know my name, man, right?
Mm.
Who am I? I'm the champ.
You are the champ.
And just fucking follow my advice, man.
Oh yeah, I think most people will align with the event alignment. I think a lot of people will go to the Sentinels.
Yeah, fuck them. I'll flatten.
Yeah, I think
It does state in the faction thing itself in the forums.
So,
I'll have to bring up the post. That they're not outrightly going for defensive on for Kixeye either, because it is in there that he has said that. I'm gonna go find the damn where he commented.
Hunter asked a question, which is actually not that bad of a question. He said, for the events, like with these faction-specific events, would it be smart to change your faction to combat, like during the event? Like this upcoming event is going to be Sentinels, so would it be smart to be a Sentinel faction so your Sentinel units got the boost, and then when it's a Survivor,
in reality, no.
To be honest, the defense bases aren't fucking shit.
Can I weigh in on this?
Yeah.
So my thoughts on this was, I don't know if I said this on live, but you got 3 different thingies. So we're fighting Sentinel stuff. So the one boost is survivors. So you get the more damage your survivor only tune does, the more damage he does, the more of a boost you get. The more stuff he kills, rather, the more of a boost you get. To me, I don't really fight. I don't really fight.
He's the one who made this.
I don't really fight with survivor stuff in events, so that one isn't good for me. The Corpus one, it's good for percentages of damage. So aside from, like Carl was showing earlier with Nyx, going up against like a hunter, I don't really see that being beneficial to me either. The Sentinel one, I don't see it as being really beneficial, but it'll just stop me from being cryoed and napalmed, and if there's any corrosion. And I don't think any of them really would be useful for event. I think they're more for PvP. But like if you fight with survivors mainly, like if you fight with libs and that kind of stuff, I would say do that. But personally, I'm going Sentinels just because of I hate cryos.
I'm gonna go flat and Daba. Okay.
I'm already in a bubble, but thanks for the offer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing too. If people are getting, like for a base defense, here's my tip for the day for base defense. If you're being hit by phalanxes, like if you have a certain setup where you don't have tower or walls by your turrets, you're spread out so to combat the jug, and people are using phalanxes in your base, put 4 cryo in your base, 1 on each side, because they'll slow the phalanx down.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Anton. I didn't tell you that.
But
I have them. I have 6 cryo. I have 4 napalm, and the rest of my turrets are avalanche and anti-plasma.
Get rid of the napalm. You don't need the fucking napalm, man.
The napalm are to kill the Spartans that come out of the phalanx, and I don't care what anyone says. They do a great job of it, and the cryo is to slow them down.
They are pieces of shit, man. You don't need them.
No, I agree with
they
you
work.
on this one. The napalms are a piece of shit.
But if they've got the snow tires on there, a cryo is no good.
Yeah.
Hey, Godscope.
Exactly.
Godscope.
Yo.
When you get a chance, do a Go-Go Bar test. Do 1 Spartan versus a napalm. Set it out by itself, and then 1 Spartan versus an avalanche. And then I'm not saying one is better than the other, but that would be an interesting test to see. Because if napalms do actually do more than the avalanche against a Spartan, then I might consider putting napalms down. But
I'm just gonna sidetrack from the front. It's still faction based, but there's a micro posted in the forums on the Wrong Thinker commented specifically on this section that Kixeye do tend to have a mixture of units in their bases. So they're going to have to try and solve the problem for themselves. As far as some of the bases they've seen seem to be without the bonus, as they're breaking the bunker rules, which they are. Can see it being a problem, but it helps us more than it hurts. So it makes PvP a little easy. Blah 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 blah. Use PKs to spam the base to death. But most people have missile bastions anyway, so it sort of negates that factor. And Wrong Thinker said that he knows it won't trigger in most of the bases, and it was always something that would help us rather than them. And keeping in mind that most of the factions using events that you fight against aren't one of the big three, so they won't get traits even if they are all aligned. With the support turrets, defense is getting a bit of a buff, blah, 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 blah. The legendary unit rebalance, hashtag coming soon. The whole idea is the offense and defensive buffs kind of cancel each other out. With a little more strategy, which is the end goal. Unfortunately, strategy does add complexity, which frustrates people. It does. There's a new offensive layer and a new defensive layer. And yes, it makes it more complex, however, less complex than some people are treating it, which it really is true. You forgo one thing for another. If you want to continue to use libs in your bunkers, forgo the defensive buff. Because in all, the defensive buff isn't going to really be that much. Unless you're getting smashed by a herald and a jug that does a shit ton more health damage to you than anything else. But that's a lot of things. So even the faction trait thing isn't going to affect PvE on Kixai's end, which is good. For us at least. Anything else? Questions?
Hunter wants to know if we can test the Spartan thing live.
After what happened the other day, I'm going to say no, because I don't want to risk that shit happening for a second time. If it's a go-go bar test, go nuts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if God's
do a test. If anybody wants a test, I'll test right now, man.
Since Godscope's already got them, set a napalm down and then set an avalanche down after the first, and then just do a go-go bar test, not an actual live test. But Godscope would have to share his screen and all that. My worker's busy for another 3 hours, otherwise I would switch over to napalm. But Godscope, you there?
Yeah, loading the game right now.
Excellent.
Okay.
If you can throw up the screen share, that'd be awesome too.
Yeah, I just gotta clear out some chats. Don't want to get the show taken down.
All right. Question for Hunter while we wait. From Hunter. What are the panel's thoughts on the Cyclops and their tech?
Yes.
Awesome.
Can't wait to get them to 10.
The wide-angled lens is a must-have.
I want to get them to 10, so this way I can have them be stealth, and then I'll really be able to test them.
Now you may have made the same mistake I have. There are two techs. There's the wide lens and there's the angled lens. There's no such thing as the wide-angled lens.
Oh, I meant the angled lens.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
The wide lens adds splash damage. The angled lens allows it to target air.
Yeah.
I was doing the wide lens. I actually had it on my Cyclops, and I was doing a Sentinel base yesterday, and it didn't seem like it was doing much splash on it, even though I had the wide lens on it. I'll have to test it against like libs or something like that to see like something that's big pile. The Hunter, the wide lens shoots splash, and the other one, the angled lens shoots air.
The Cyclops is one of the first faction units that's been maximum range at level 1.
That'll be a good unit, I think. That's the keeper.
I mean, the thing has 550 range straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
And when it gets to level 10, it gets that little cloaking field.
There's a question from Micaiah. He's saying he wants to get he said he stopped his Cyclops at 5 so he could get his Seekers to 10. So do you think he should continue with his Cyclops or do his Seekers?
Yeah. Cyclops.
Cyclops.
100%, man.
Yeah, you don't see very many people with Seekers in their base.
Yeah. Fuck the Seekers. I got mine at fucking 12 or some shit. I never used.
I don't think I've ever seen a Seeker in someone's base.
They get out by the 80s in every aspect.
They're dumb.
I think that they're more of a use in conjunction with other things. I mean, if a hunter locks onto you, so will a Seeker.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you will get your fucking ass pounded by them.
Yeah.
Hunter's asking if anyone tried a tune of them in a HZ90 or a VK85 80. The Cyclops is definitely not a tune. It's not an Inferno. It's not a War Rig. It's not a Jug. It's definitely not a standalone unit. It's a supporting unit. And it's definitely. I seriously doubt it would make a dent in the HC 80 or HC 90 or the VK 80 because those are like high end bases, and even with level 10 Cyclops, if you just set them in, do them on Ruby, I seriously doubt they would be of any effect because that's just not how that unit was made for.
Okay, if I'm going to be misquoted, I have to jump on and say the reason why I stopped the Cyclones because they don't add any benefit for me in PvE. They're not going to be useful. I mean, sure, they'll be useful on the bases per se, you know, that they do good, but the Seekers actually solve a problem for me is that I get hit by air a lot and the air will retreat. So if I have like a Seeker or two there, they can wipe them out really easily. And that also includes invasions as well, where I get hit with so many air that it's like I'm getting overwhelmed, and my Hades are not keeping up. So I'm hoping that my Seekers will actually combat that.
They won't.
Yeah, I granted, I get that, but it's like, I mean, it's like Kickside. I don't like the factions because it's flavor of the month. You have to go with what this, the Cyclops are not going to be good. They're useless in the faction bases, and that's kind of 90% of this game is like it's easy cake until you get into those top tier factions, like the last two missions, and so then it's like your Cyclops are now completely worthless because you can't take them into the base. So
I'm just talking priorities, man. I mean,
it's like as a PvP player, I'm not a very good top tier PvP player. So yeah, it's like are they good for that? It's hard. That's up to you guys. You guys can.
Well, you got to use them with, like, you're talking for events, okay? So you'd put I wouldn't put all Seekers in my base like I would with Tempests or now Hades. And for the events, I would put 3 or 4 Seekers, maybe 3 or 2, and then the rest of my anti-air would be Hades, and then you would place your Seekers where the air comes in, wait until the Seekers lock on, and then kite the air around with a Howler or with your Hades, and keep them like that, because one-on-one, an Omega Titan will wreck a level 10 Seeker.
These past few fucking defense, past few events, right? All right, guys. The past few events, right? The defense waves on those events have been fucking easy as fuck, man.
They have.
You don't need shit.
Yeah, I'm not.
You really don't need fucking jack shit in the base, right?
It's a joke, really. It's like you might as well just take them out of the game at this point because they're so bad. I mean, maybe people probably do struggle with them.
Wrong thing. Don't listen to them. They're really hard. They're really, really hard. They're just lying, trying to make themselves look like good bases. The waves have been really hard.
Thank you, Godscope. You are my hero.
I went back and forth with Ron forever on the defense wave, but it's like I hit that bug where it's like you hit that first defense wave and you're out for the event. So it's like it's completely stupid to have something that's going to break the entire game at a risk. And it's been going on for 14 months that I've been here that people hit that defense wave and it breaks their entire event. They haven't solved that. So what's the point?
Few have been simple though, man.
I know, but I'm saying if you break the entire event because you want to have a stupid defense wave because of that's dumb, and that's like that kills your event for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I agree. Man.
I mean, and that's the community guy.
Well, you understand though they have to have a defensive realm to this. They can't just have attack because it's not just your level player, it's every level of player from the beginner to the beta testing player that's still in the game.
Here's the thing.
That's why they need to go back to tier A, B, C.
Do you really want them to do that, though? One wave, 4 bases, rinse, repeat for God knows how many fucking days. Those days of the events were just so fucking boring.
Well, I was just merely suggesting to put the defense wave into a separate track. Go back to your defense track.
They suggested that.
But I mean that's way beyond what we were talking about. And they've been, but
it was in a separate track. I don't know why they merged it in the first place. More than really because of limited space on their event screen, where they have the main track, faction track. And they've got all that shit on there. But they seem to sort of merge them all together. I mean, I'm assuming it's more a case of to limit the
A lot of
progression
those
of a certain type of player.
A lot of those fucking faction tracks, you can just PK the hell out of them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, that's
Stop saying that. Don't put fucking everything.
It's like fucking everybody knows it, man. Everybody. It's like
I want to say you're not allowed on the panel anymore because you're.
Fuck you all, man.
Hey.
Yeah.
I joke.
This is my show.
Even Kickside knows this.
Yeah,
I don't have that kind of power anyway.
Everybody forget what you just heard for the past 15 seconds.
Honestly, though, the question is that enjoyable gameplay? Is that the gameplay you guys want to have? And also trashing units. Is that? I mean, honestly, I don't do that because I don't find it a fun game, and it's destroying my enjoyment of the game because I can't progress in tokens and whatnot. So it's like, but you know, everybody like says, hey, this is what we do because it's easy. Not because it's fun. And so it's like, if we don't address that and say we don't think it's fun, you know, it's dumb. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, I honestly think Kicksai's answer would be, well, let's nerf it, and then they can't use that tech or that tactic, and that's dumb too. But you know,
I'm a different type of player though, man. My enjoyment comes from PvP, man. Yeah. I enjoy fucking destroying bases. I enjoy people coming to destroy my base. That's the kind of player I am.
Well, so I mean, granted, a lot of people would probably seem to like do grind out events or, you know, or do it with PKs or whatever to get the new units, to get the top, you know, get a lot, you know, get their tokens and whatnot and go through the, you know, they would suffer through it to get it, but it's just not enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about events, man.
I will run
the only thing I care about is PvP. You know, that's me, man.
I'm screen sharing.
All right.
No, I definitely agree. The fact that it's easier to scrap a unit and rebuild a Thor-based instant build it's a tactic, but God, I'm just like you. I don't like doing it. I like to use the unit, build it once, be tactical with it, not feel the desire that I'm pigeon-held to take damage I shouldn't take, and then be out.
I don't want to spend 18 hours gathering up 6 billion thorium to rebuild my fucking units every goddamn day.
Yeah,
it doesn't make
exactly.
I would rather sit and have the repairs. I would be more than inclined to coin said repair if they'd stop fucking with the gold price.
That too. But during an event, you don't have that option to just sit on the repairs, really. If you want to, you know, I mean, some of us who have gotten everything and don't really go into these events with a large laundry list of items to collect, but those that still are trying to gain a good quantity of units because they maybe only got 5 or 6 in the first event, and now they're there in the event store slightly reduced. Now they can pick up the other 12 that they need to make a good, you know, a good 2 plat. Yeah, those people really don't have the option to sit on repairs, and they really don't deserve to suffer, you know, 16, 18, 20-hour repair slots. So that whole thing, it's apples for oranges. It's either you're out of the event a day early, or you know, you play a day, you're out a day, you come back, or you have to grind a day in between to collect Thor to rebuild. Or you lose a couple hours collecting Thor to rebuild. It's just.
I hope Ron Thinker sticks to his word and does lower the I mean, I don't know about significantly, but lowers the price of the out-of-date units. You know, because we're on Gen 2 now, so it's like those out-of-date units are not, you know, as useful. But you know, so that the lower players can actually pick up something and get something good.
But Jericho is not a fucking out-of-date unit, man.
Well, they in that one statement that I read earlier, he said that they're working on reducing the cost of a lot of things and making, you know, offering packages like they did in this last event. So use your what do they call that? Their redo or restart. So you utilize your restart so you can maximize what you get. I think Godscope's ready for this test if we want to
go for it. You are on present, buddy, so go for it.
Okay.
What are you guys doing, dude?
Walk us through it.
One Spartan versus the Napalm.
What level is your Spartan?
It's with the go-go bar, so it's probably, if it's my level, then it's 11 or 12.
That's okay then. That's what
you've also got.
He's coming in from over here.
You should let me jump to your base, man. Let me do a real test.
You should move that cryo. You should move that cryo and the rocket silo as well.
The rocket silo's got a Patriot in it. That's so that it'll shoot at it.
Alright, so now what?
It's not doing enough DPS. See the thing about the napalm is it's a sustained type thing, so it'll keep the effect on. It works hand in hand with another high rate of fire thing. So if you had a microwave turret with the cryo and the napalm, it would do a lot more damage. Since that we're an avalanche.
The splash.
I'm sorry, sniper man. Those fucking napalms are pieces of shit, man. I'm sticking to my fucking word, man.
This is how we can time it. How much damage does that Spartan have by the time he kills that rocket silo?
Well, it doesn't even have half of the first bar gone yet, and it's going to have the rocket silo dead in a second, and then it's going to.
It's probably like a tenth of it.
The only advantage is the splash.
Right.
With the,
Stop sharing this shit, man. Let me share my
Alright.
fucking.
Alright, now I'll put the
avalanche.
there.
Do the avalanche.
The avalanche will fucking kill that fucker.
Well, I think that's the point that I was trying to make. That it's a sustained thing. That it's going to keep that fire effect on, and then in conjunction with a high rate of fire turret, it'll really start to really.
Those napalms aren't worth the shit.
Well, the base hasn't had a turret upgrade for a long damn time.
True that.
I mean, we got some new levels on the Hunter and on the railgun, yeah, but that doesn't give it to the avalanches or napalms or cryos or anything else that we used to use.
Yeah, but the avalanche, they already got a pretty high damage.
Well, yeah. So we'll do this. We'll do this test. We'll throw an avalanche out there, and then we're going to take a look at what Champ's going to throw us with his test.
Can I say something real quick, which is really hilarious that I think of this because 90% of the players in the game really wouldn't even remember.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go away.
Did anybody or has anybody who's been in the game long enough who collected under the limited release of the Zombifier turret, did that get new levels?
No.
Or did that completely get forgotten by Kickside?
I think it got pulled.
Gone.
It got pulled from the game. Okay.
Nice try, Chaos. Jumping to me. I'm already in a bubble.
Because I have a friend who started the game just before I did, called The Godfather, and he got that turret in the event as one of the prizes, and I was wondering if his gained levels, but if it got pulled from the game altogether, then that sucks.
Yeah, I think the only thing they have Zombifier right now is what they have Oni and Scorpion Tech. I think they're the only two
and your heroic heroes. You got your Dina,
Pandora,
and your Jericho, and you got your ground and your air. Yeah.
Avalanche will fuck them up. That, along with the crowd, will fuck them up.
Yeah, so look,
boom, there's one bar gone.
Yep, see? And then he's going to get more damage output as the time goes on. It gets more powerful.
Now, if the napalm turret was there, he'd already be down to 1 bar.
My railgun too.
Get rid of your napalms, fucking noob.
Well, if the railgun was in there, he'd be dead already.
Yep.
Alright. Okay,
so, see, napalm should, in theory, do more to that infantry because infantry are weak to fire, but and if you look at the DPS, napalm's got more DPS than the avalanche.
Cryo's good, though,
Avalanche powers
Cryo,
up.
Cryo helps.
As you can see, avalanche for the win.
Yep. Straight up, dude.
But see, here's the thing: it didn't stop it from killing the rocket silo, though. That was the true test.
That rocket silo can kiss my ass.
Oh yeah, there's not enough.
What you want to do there is run the final test and run all 3 in conjunction.
Well, that's what I wanted to see. I want to see the napalm with the cryo and the avalanche.
Let me do a fucking little test, man.
Yeah.
Let me do a little test on my walls, man.
Go for it, man.
All right. I want to test the fucking jug. Let me get rid of this fucking shit.
Get set up. God scope run the final countdown, so to speak.
All right. Let me know when I'm ready to go.
Holy cow.
Hussein's still in here. Fucker.
Hunter says in YouTube, what it shows is that the Spartans need a serious bump in DPS.
Oh, fuck the Spartans, man. They're pieces of shit too.
It's like each faction only seems to get one good unit.
No, Corpus has the Phalanx
Corpus
and the
got a-
Hades,
Corpus
man.
has
Come
got
on now.
two.
Corpus has Phalanx, Hades,
Fury.
Fury, Cyclops.
Sentinel really only has one bad unit, and that's a Seeker.
Yeah.
I can't believe Ron Thinker dropped. We're going to rebalance all factions and some side post.
They need to take the fucking bunkers out of the equation on the fucking base defense thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been harping
All right.
on that question on the
Now
forums.
here's
but
all three of
he
them
hasn't answered
coming
that.
together.
He's coming at a different angle.
Yeah, and this one's workshop too. So he'll probably shoot floating turrets.
How the
Yeah,
fuck
he's
is he
gonna go.
workshop?
Is he gonna go after?
I have never seen that in a go-go bar test.
Yeah,
Yeah, every
sometimes
now
it'll
and then
come
they'll be
out.
workshopped.
Sometimes they come
Oh,
out
yeah.
workshop, sometimes they don't. It's really random.
Yeah, you're gonna have to restart. It's not coming from the same angle. It's not the same
Sometimes you
test.
feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, but I think it depends. If all your Spartans were workshopped, it would come out workshopped. If you have one Spartan that, or a few
That's not.
Spartans,
Well, I've had Dante and Doran workshopped, and there's only one of them, and
I
I
think
didn't
if
come
you
out.
have a schematic set for a particular unit, it'll assume that schematic, but it's random.
Yeah,
You
because
guys want me to fucking share my screen right now?
Hold on 1 second. Let's finish his, and then we'll get the final consensus on it, and then we'll move to yours.
I'm gonna test my fucking walls and against 5 jugs.
I'd like to
5
see that.
jugs.
Well, yeah, he's got the new max wall, so I'd like to really see that.
I would.
They're pretty
Come on,
hardcore.
Godscope. Get the shit over with. I want to see a champ get his base flattened by 5 jugs.
It's not gonna get flattened, man. I'm gonna flatten the 5 jugs, man.
I bet you he kills all 5 jugs too.
I will.
It's champ's base. I guarantee he's probably going to kill all 5 jugs.
He's gonna use napalms just for the fun of it.
I'm not gonna do shit, man. I'm gonna run my little phalanx around their asses.
All right, let's see if this one comes in from the right
Come
angle.
on, Spartan, cooperate. Good. Now it. Oh no, he didn't. You little son of a bitch.
There's still hope.
But now he's got a different workshop.
Yeah.
And,
What's he going for?
I'm gonna
or
turn my
put-
chat on.
You've got to okay. If you took out your AA, was it ion? AA plasma,
Plasma.
and remove that, because when you first did it the first 2 times you only had really 3 turrets there, and now you've got the 4th, and I think it's tricking it out.
Dude.
So remove the plasma, put the napalm or whatever over there, so you have your fire and ice there and your avalanche on the right. It might just trick it back into that same attack angle.
Get rid of your fucking napalm, man.
just call it a bad one and just go get off the napalm.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna test.
Yes.
Let me,
all
Weaver
microwaves.
is asking who Weaver is. It's the Liberator hero.
let me know when you guys are ready, man.
When Godscope gets his shit, we'll move straight on to you, champ. Don't worry.
Take 3. Spartan versus Godscope Space.
3rd time's a charm, man.
3rd. I think this is the 4th.
4th time's a charm,
Yeah,
man.
4th or 5th.
5th time's a charm, man. I could do this all night, you know.
I would never test a
Get up
Spartan.
to 10, I'm going to punch you.
11th time's a charm, man.
Fuck you. Right.
I don't think-
Hold up, plasma.
Oh, everything's running so slow.
I can see that.
Hey, Godscope, I have a serious question for you.
No, I don't use a Mac.
Good. That's good. But yeah, I would like you to answer honestly. I'm surprised nobody in YouTube caught this. Any reason your tech center, defense lab hangar ain't working?
Because I have been incredibly busy these last 2 weeks. I have not had time to come on and babysit everything.
Oh yeah, does anybody remember this YouTube channel called Void Viper?
No.
One of the oldest animators too.
I'm animator, everyone.
Okay.
Come on, let's go already.
Dr.
like
Phil's
this,
gonna
though,
put
19
a boot in
hours.
the ass of that guy. Get out of the go-go
19
bar!
hours till my 19 hours till my command
Let's
center's
go.
12.
Move it. Oh,
That was Police Academy. What was that? What happened?
I don't know.
Oh.
We lost Champ.
Yeah, he'll be back.
All right. May the spawn gods be with us.
Oh, so help me God.
May the Schwartz be with you.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Reset.
This is when I do these. I always do the 3 o'clock position, or like the 6 o'clock, 9 or 12. This way I know they should come in exactly at that angle.
Even with doing it at 3 o'clock or at 9 o'clock, I've had issues where it doesn't come in the same way twice.
Oh, and it's gonna be cloaked. It's another workshop one.
Very good.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look where my mouse is. This little mite has the exclamation mark as if it spotted the.
Kill us now. End it now. Oh my god.
End it now. Okay, Champ, get your screwdriver, buddy.
Okay.
Godscope, you're fired.
What the hell am I doing here? I'm gonna fucking.
That's no big deal. I gotta mute up because everybody in here is screaming again.
Shit.
There you go, champ. Good luck.
5 jugs. All right, there.
Omega, what level?
40.
40.
Maxed.
Fuck these assholes, man. Well, okay, fucking jugs, man.
5 jugs.
They can all kiss my fucking ass, man.
5 jugs.
On my show, my little fucking Felix. Fucking little pretty jokes.
Yo, those Felix are absolutely wrecked, bro.
No way, man.
Yes way.
No way. No fucking way, man.
How many jugs are there? I only see a couple.
It's 5.
5.
5.
Come on, go to the.
Oh my god.
Let's go get them. I'm gonna draw them in. Let my little libs in my bunker do the work there. Look what they do to my walls, though.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I was hitting some of these walls. I think it was Champs, and it took about the same amount of shots as the normal wall, as the prior level walls.
Right.
You gotta get sandbags.
There's 5 jugs shooting at the walls at one time. They're all dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna take these 5 jugs and send them to fucking hell. Fucking.
It seems like the phalanx take a lot longer to kill a jug than the howlers.
Yeah, but the phalanx you can misclick because it takes 8 jug shots to kill them.
Oh yeah. Like my howlers, I got still in the front, so then I get real close.
The hit or miss thing with the phalanx is a definite bonus, but the thing that trips me out is when they drop their Spartans, the Spartans, if you're clicking to bait and run, they'll start following behind your clicks rather than continuing to attack. I'd rather them stay and just attack a target and let you control strictly the phalanx.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put that in the air because Kix will try to do something and fuck the game.
Pick on my Hades, man. Don't pick on my Hades.
You go out, bye Hades.
See, as you guys on YouTube can see, sometimes just use your other units to bait as a sacrifice.
Go on.
Totally did that on purpose.
Go on, kill the
CC. I want to see how long it takes to kill the CC.
Kill the CC.
Where is he taking my base? I'm totally going to kill those 5 jumps.
Come on. Kill all those wolves. Kill all those wolves.
Great jump.
But I mean, look at that. I mean, look at that. The forward jug just took 1 shot and barely even dented the walls. And that's what
Thanks
we're
for
looking
making
at
me
here.
feel better.
But that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah, the walls are superb.
Titans just disappear in a second.
Dude, I feel good about my go-go bar because there's lots of hookers in there for me to fucking fuck.
That's weird. I thought that as soon as your command center was dead, the attack automatically stopped.
No, you stop it either when all the units are dead or your base is complete. Right, it automatically stops.
I've actually had my base totally flattened by like 20 O Titans, and they just sat there until I ended attack.
Yeah, I've had that too. I've had air in my my go-go bar, and my whole base was flat, and it just sat there. The timer just kept going. I was like, all right, quick stop.
Jim, don't worry. Use your last stand defenders to take them out.
I don't have any, man. Let's see if I have any, man. I don't have any.
This mortar team's totally going to take out these 4 jugs.
Damn. He's got 1. How many?
You did 2.
Well, isn't the mortar team supposed to be good against vehicles, just like gladiators?
Damn.
Wait a minute.
My ass.
The sad thing is,
3 years ago.
sad thing is, there's no last stand defenders once those jug shells hit.
No, but there might be one straggler, one drunk Irishman somewhere.
Staggers out. Staggers out. Walks over to a wall, takes a leak on it, goes back, gets another beer.
Paddy, get him!
There's a tank going down the main streets. What am I going to do?
Someone, you little fucking weed drone.
Honestly, Crash makes a good point. If you were a player and you had 5 jugs, you could almost just use 2 of your jugs to like run up straight up the walls and take them all out, and then just 3-star the base in like 15-30 seconds maybe.
Dude, if somebody came up to me with 5 fucking jugs, I'd be onto fair play faster than you could shake a stick.
Honestly, you know, it's like, well, I mean, it's they sort of do it sometimes, but they really do need like little mini events like that where they can throw out, you know, really awesome. You know, I mean, that would be really awesome.
We had that happen in the event when the Juggernaut was out, and you got the Malachi. You got hit by like 3 of them. You were supposed to get 1.
See that GS missile?
Yeah.
Watch this GS missile. Watch.
You're praying that thing. You're praying.
No, please, God, don't do it. No, yes, man.
One more shot.
Don't be there. Don't fire.
If those missiles goodbye, here it comes.
No,
Here it
don't
comes. Bah, Felicia.
do it.
Bah,
Oh,
Felicia.
no, quick.
Now, don't end it like when he kills that.
Hang on a minute, is that a Titan drone?
Yeah.
It is.
Don't
Yeah,
end
still
attack.
alive.
It's left over from my fucking that Ark.
One Titan drone flying around.
One Titan drone go.
I told you.
You can do it.
God, dude.
What's left?
I told you it was a drunk Irishman.
What fucking Opto have running, man? I can't see.
What's
Twin Titans. You had Twin Titans, right?
Yeah, the defensive Titan.
This is going down as one of the greatest Unshackled episodes ever, just for this portion.
That Titan drone takes the title for MVP.
Hey, champ, go to the right.
You can't even select it. It's on its own.
Champ,
I just like how it's causing the poor Omega Dub to run away. There's 2 of them. 3 of them?
There's 3 of them.
All right, can I say something? So here we'll stay for another 6 hours, and then they'll finally kill the O-Jug.
Hey, look at that! Look at his face. KS pointed it out. The KS pointed out in YouTube chat that the jug shells made an L. The jug made an L in Champ space.
Because you were
Oh dear me!
Precious, you got flattened by a nudie bar.
Don't worry, Champ. I'll run out of fuel shortly, and then you'll get it.
Slide your base to the right.
There you go. You got 4 Titan drones now.
I don't get that. They're like,
Alright, I'm out. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, I gotta call it a night myself too. I'll see you guys later. Good show.
take care, Dada. Take care, God.
Take care, guys.
There goes. Take care.
Slide your base to the right. Oh, is that a Hades in there still?
I don't have any tunes left, man. We still like
Right there, right by your Cerberus. That bluish. Oh, right there. That's just an imprint.
He's dead. He said.
Everybody's dead.
See, that's what I was talking about. It doesn't auto end.
Because the drones are still alive. It's the AI is fucky wonky.
Yeah.
It is on that one. Holy shit!
But I've had it even where like I have nothing in my base, like including drones, and it'll just sit there.
It might just be the Go-Go Bars bug.
Because like I ran when the Phalanx first came out, I ran a full 3,000 space of them in my base, and I got destroyed. Once they flat my whole base, they just sat there.
You guys mind if I ask my question?
Go for it.
Yes, absolutely.
You guys were talking about the retreat options, and I know there's a lot of great suggestions, but I was curious about Phil because I know if anybody else plays Rogue Assault, but in Rogue Assault there's a map, a PvP map. If you get kicked off the map, your units get kicked out, and then you got to start over on the starter point for the map again.
Yeah.
What I mean, I know it's kind of not related, but is that sort of? Did you like that? I mean, it's can you speak towards that aspect?
I could speak towards it, but Rogue Assault pissed me off right at the start. I mean,
Is that another topic?
I got in really early in Rogue Assault.
Yeah.
And for the fact of the matter is, as soon as they started adding fucking mandatory components to build shit,
yeah,
that pissed me off no end. And at that point, I took Rogue Assault, I uninstalled it, and put my phone down.
Yeah, I didn't mean to bring up. My problem with Rogue Assault was that it was a phone only, versus like having a PC game, and that just really, I think, killed the entire thing. But okay, well, I mean, I didn't mean to bring up that, but it just seems like.
No, I understand.
I mean,
it's an idea, don't get me wrong. You get if you repeat your tune, it just goes back to your base anyway. So there's no real, unless it's going to boot you out of the sector to somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's no real application.
So from that question, then, does that mean you could have a PvP map where you could go on and do missions or do certain things?
Yes. War Commander talked about it. I can't remember what they called it, but it was like a war zones or something like that. It sounded like a battleground, and I think that's what the Rogue Assault is it's like a separate. I haven't played it enough to know. That was kind of part of the question, is that it was a PvP map that you jump in and you claim PvP objectives. The War Commander one was you brought in 1K of units or whatever, and you lost those units and you got kicked out of like the last man standing type of map. And it's actually one of those things, like, I'm not a big PvP player, but I mean, it seems like really going backwards to take a really good PvP idea like that, or maybe there's problems with it, but
I honestly don't think that's applicable in this particular map, because the War Commander, the PC War Commander, that world map is full of PvP and PvE, and it mixes it up a bit. If they get rid of the depots, there'll be more shit to have room to play with, and the lag won't be so bad when you go onto the fucking map and you're looking for somebody's base.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll get the performance that they've dreamed about forever. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely
worth looking at. That's for sure. But anything else? And I'll before I wrap up, I'll get one more topic out of the way. Anybody?
No. I think we covered all variations of everything there.
Sorry, I know I'm the new guy and I'm taking over, but I did want to just to make it live on video. But you guys talked about the turrets, the support turrets, but the Shadow Ops 70s, they have storms and floods on heavy platforms for Kixeye. So that means Kixeye can put the support turrets for CC turrets. So it's kind of one of those things that's just really, I mean, it's like the faction bonus is great, but the support turrets, it's like it's going to be a nightmare. And there's just so many little things that people are dropping through the cracks because they're not thinking about these, you know. And that's just one of those big, huge topics that I didn't even realize that Kixeye had access to CC turrets on heavy plot. I think that's just.
Oh, they've been doing that for years. Probably since they came out.
Yeah, so that's just one of those big things that you guys, didn't quite, an aspect of that discussion. So yeah.
When we had the Fortress waves, they had the that ion gun on the ground. Then they had blitzes on the ground. When the blitz first came out, they had like separate blitz turrets by themselves. And we all complained that Kixeye could have 4 or 5 blitzes in a base, and we could only have 1.
Now they've got 20 hunters.
Oh yeah.
And the also
that survivor base. That survivor base was just nasty with all the hunters in it. Hunters, railguns, and overwatches.
It made that survivor base for me untenable. The damage would have been unacceptable, so I just didn't do it.
I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, I've got good units and all that, and I could sit there and grind it and probably take it in 45 minutes to an hour, but who's got that kind of time for one base? And you need to do 5 of them, so that's, for me, it would be estimated 5 hours.
Well, you don't need to do 5 of them. You can do 5.
No, I mean, if I wanna keep up with the Joneses, it'd be 5 for the week, and I suppose you could do them in a week, but still, like, that's a lot of time just for one base. And don't get me wrong, I love puzzles and all that, but I think 20 minutes is like the 30 minutes is like the max that any base should take, even using skill and being a slow attacker. Especially if you got to grind out more than 1. Now, if I only had to do 1 of them and I got 10, if I got all 10 tokens, oh yeah, then it'd be worth it. But far too much of an investment for not enough reward back.
Yes, sir.
Danny, I know Max Payne did it in 8 minutes for free repair, but that guy's a fucking god when it comes to this shit.
Who's Max Payne?
It's always amazed me how much you watch a YouTube video and you're like, wow, that's an easy strategy, and then you put it into place and you're like, huh, why did I get 12 to 16?
Max Payne is one of the editors of WC Tech. He's a really good player. Which, yeah, if he did it in 8 minutes, I definitely would like to see that. I'll be searching that.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the thing is, he did it in 8 minutes, but that video is also speeded up. So it probably took him about 20 to 25. I mean, I've got a 6-minute video out of there where I take about 2.5 hours worth of damage. And I sped that up by four times. Because that base, you can't rush that kind of shit. You need to take your time doing it.
It's the original YouTubers used to show their tech on their units, and I think the new YouTubers need to show, or the YouTubers that are still around need to show their levels on their units.
I still do.
I'll try to
Oh yeah, I agree. That's vital. That's vital for helping people when they watch these videos to know exactly why and how they're doing what they're doing.
I try to do that. I make videos every now and then on a PvE basis. If I can get a PvE base fucking really good without damage, I'll fucking make a video and I'll post it. And I'll try to remember to post the level of my units in the text.
Yeah. Even in the description would be helpful. Honestly, I don't read a lot of them, but
it all goes down to the end. It's always the last 10 to 15 seconds where I show levels and repairs on tech.
I just want to say that I go barred my base with 5 Omega Juggernauts, and it could not flatten my base because it couldn't kill all the floating turrets.
The counter to that is like what, 12 or 16 acolytes at level 20. We'll just nuke them in.
You want to know how you do it? You want to know how you do it? I have experience in this field. When your Juggernaut just won't kill that last floating turret, ERMs, man. ERMs are the way to go.
Yeah, that'll work.
How long did you spend shooting that floater with the ERMs though?
Surprisingly, it was not that long. I think it was like 20 or 30 ERMs, and it took maybe 2 minutes to drop it.
Oh, that ain't too bad.
Which I was totally acceptable since I was considering that's a pretty decent level turret. I was expecting like 5-10 minutes, honestly.
Oh,
And it saved me repairs on my air.
one of the dudes in chat said, I use KY. Okay, sorry.
All right. We'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up. We'll throw some shout outs out there and then we'll get this thing ended. So, Anton, you got to shout out some last words?
Yeah, again, thanks for the invite, everybody. Thanks, everybody on YouTube and that there for all your good questions and that there. Again, a good show. Lots of points covered and that there. Probably more questions and answers, maybe.
Of course.
But again, thanks everybody on the panel. Thanks for Dr. Phil and that there. Shout out to Shadow. Hope to see you again soon. And to everybody on 49 and that there. Good luck.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Darby, you got any shout outs, some last words?
Quick question. It's like a 10-second question. Should I coin my bunkers to switch them to?
Yes.
Yes.
Coin it.
It's going to cost me 600 coins. It's going to cost me 600 coins, though.
It's not your coin. Just coin it.
Coin it.
Shut up. $1.20.
And y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all vicious today.
It's not real money. Just coin it. You're not gonna go broke. Just coin it. Just coin it. Coin it.
Yeah.
Just coin it.
I already dropped 700 coins or something on my CC. 500 coins. That was hurtful.
If you drop, look, if you coined on the CC, you might as well coin all the way. You don't half-ass things, man. Go for the gold.
All right, let me see. So, shout out to Hunter who wants me to coin my new helipad. That's definitely not going to happen. Shout out to everyone on the panel and out to YouTube. Shout out to everyone who was defending sector, what are we in, 49? You did a wonderful job. And shout out to everyone who actually came to partake in the fun of 49, whether friend or enemy. You gave us a lot of good PvP fun. And so, yeah, that was best time I've had in a long, long time. And shout out to Doc for running on this impromptu show. It's probably like 9, 10, 12, 2 in the morning his time. So, thanks for staying up.
2:40.
All right, so we gotta keep on the air for another almost hour. This way it can be tree fitty.
No,
damn
that's
it! You
not
got to that, Dop. I was really
not
gonna say that.
happening. That is not happening. I will be long asleep before then.
It wouldn't be the first time you've passed out behind the camera there, Dr. Phil.
Shut
We'll
up.
keep you in the after show.
He'd be like, "Oh, we're closing."
Don't you go.
You're gonna be passed out, man. You'd be snoring and shit.
And finally, and I was told I can't do this, but to the infinity viewers out there that are watching, you guys keep it up.
No, it's not infinity. You've got to say
Infinite.
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 Infinite, infinity, same div.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
No,
Hold
for
on,
the
you speak-
infinite, for the
you
infinite
speak
people.
English, I speak-
Infinity.
You speak
For the
English, I speak
infinity
American.
people. No,
You
you
No,
speak
speak
infinity, no, infinity out of context isn't even American, Daba.
Dude, I speak American and English, man. It's infinite.
It's a trap, Phil, to keep you going.
I need a drink.
Oh, okay, that'll get you up. Then
See, look, they're saying infinity in YouTube. Infinity,
Fuck
infinity.
you.
infinity and beyond.
Right,
You're
that's
a
it. You're
bunch of
done.
assholes.
Give me a shout out.
Infinity
Alright.
to the power of infinity.
Hey,
Holy
Doma.
crap.
Shut up, Doma.
Still. My shout out goes to Phil because the nice show that he put on today. And shout out to YouTube, everybody who's been into the show, and everybody else that will watch the show.
Excellent. Excellent, champ. You got any shout outs, bud?
You got a bunch of shout outs.
Go for it, man.
All right, first one, I'm going to shout out to Belgium. Thank you for making great beer. Second shout out to Ireland. Thank you for making great whiskey. I want to thank everyone that's fucking smashed me over the past week. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you to everyone I've smashed over the past week. And I thank you, Phil, and I thank the panel, and I thank the YouTube listeners and viewers. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, and drink a lot of beer. Have a nice night.
Nice, nice. I don't want to butcher your name, man. This Micah, is it Micah?
Micaiah.
Yeah,
Micaiah.
Micah. Just thanks for. I know I'm new, but just thanks for Unshackled for having an open mic. Where people can just drop by, and some people get better than others. And just a big shout out to Lady Warrior for always thinking of the YouTube community. I know she had to go early, but it's always just nice to think about the people in the chat. Because it's really as kind of a quieter YouTuber, it's just nice to. Anyways, thanks y'all.
Nice to have you on. So,
Anytime. I mean, anybody that even if they're a little shy or new, I mean, getting new people on the panel is always a good thing to have because it's a fresh perspective. We usually get the usual miscreants that come on anyway, but anybody new is always welcome. I mean, if you've got somebody that wants to come on who can't get on or doesn't want to come on, and you can try and just sort of shove them in the right direction and they want to come on the panel, they're always free to do so. I welcome it.
I'm still working on iPhoenix because he says he's shy, so I'm trying to get him into hangouts and all that.
Oh, it's good. I mean, you spoke very well there.
Yeah.
Spoke very well there, so they're fair play to you.
Fair play. I mean, always try and get new people on the show. Hunter, if you sit in the fucking chat and troll, you always have access to the invite whenever you need to. Oh, I'm gonna. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you, Hunter. That's my shout out.
Hunter's a fucking dickhead. He's special.
Hunter is a dick. We know this. Ben, have you got any shout outs?
Yeah. Shout out to the panel for putting on a great show. Dr. Phil for hosting it, because without him, this wouldn't have started on air. Shout out for Daba for screwing up and not giving us a rave run, and for the community out there for putting up with this half-ass show in spite of... Well, okay, an unscripted show for which wasn't a rave. But, yeah, thanks, everybody, for tuning in and sticking with this group of ragtag misfits and miscreants. That's it.
Excellent stuff. And to be fair, I did throw Dobber under the bus on that one.
Well, see, everyone I was PMing today, they all had reasons. Oh, I can't be on. All the normal people. So I'm like, whatever. And then yesterday, Lonnie was supposed to.
I'm trying to draw a penis with the shells from these 5 juggernauts. It's not working very well, though.
We need to get a good time that a bunch of people are able to get on Friday or Saturday, and then we'll just set that as the rave time.
Man, it should have been on this morning.
This whole PM and everybody, and then we might get 2 people on. It ain't working.
I did throw Dobber under the bus. Friday for me was a night that I wasn't available. We'll put it that way.
Well, I was under Friday. I was under the assumption Lonnie was going to do something because he had said, "Yeah, we're going to have an epic run and all that." And
Phil, you cannot be the end all be all of every show. There has to be.
Why not? It's my goddamn show.
It's your show, but you have to have the ability to delegate responsibility to other people who have the wherewithal to host without your presence. I mean, if you are incapacitated because the barkeep did not serve you a proper pint and you had to beat the shit out of him, we can understand that. We should be able. We would have to share. We'd have to do the show, in your absence. It's just.
I was not drunk on Friday night.
I know you weren't. I didn't say you were. I'm just saying if that was to happen in the near future.
There are 2 rules with drinking. Don't chat up the barmaid because she really doesn't fucking care. And don't argue with the same barmaid.
Same rules that apply in a strip club.
And besides, I was on a date night with my other half anyway. So
lucky you. Well, good for you.
It's a thing. So my shout-outs this evening to, of course, the guys on the panel, to Data and to Godscope, and the Lady Warrior who were in and then left for various reasons, because obviously it gets late and people want to spend time with families and life and the usual bollocks that happens. Of course, thanks to the guys out in YouTube. Hunter, you got a timeout right at the end, so quit fucking complaining. And yeah, normal service will resume Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the usual War Commander Unshackled show. If anything does pop up between now and the meantime and then, of course, there will be plenty of posts made on it. If an impromptu show does or does not happen in the meantime, I'm quite sure you'll all be informed about 10 minutes before I go out. So with that, and with me, and to everybody that watched tonight from the panel and myself and Unshackled, thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you on Wednesday night.